Welcome back to the class. We are discussing about the chapter of plant tissue culture. In previous class, we have discussed about the different types of plant tissue culture. We have discussed meristematic culture as well as about the organ culture. As a part of it, in today's class, we are going to start another type of plant tissue culture, what is said to be protoplast culture. Right? So first of all, what is meant by protoplast? Protoplast refers to the entire content of the plant cell devoid of cell wall, right? We all know that a plant cell has an outermost covering what is called as cell wall, and inner to cell wall we have the cell membrane or plasma membrane, and inner to plasma membrane we have the cytoplasmic content along with the nucleus and other cell organelles. So this is the basic structure of a plant cell, right? So if you take a plant cell and if you remove the outermost cell wall layer and all the remaining contents, that is devoid of cell wall, all the remaining contents of the plant cell devoid of cell wall is what we call it as protoplast or protoplasm. Protoplasm refers to the content of the plant cell which is devoid of cell wall. So it includes the cytoplasmic content, nucleus covered by the plasma membrane. All these three components we call it as protoplast, right? So that is the definition for protoplast. So protoplast is the living content of the cell, right? So it is the living part of the plant cell. So if you isolate the protoplast from the cell, and if that protoplast is cultured in the medium, and from that protoplast is then allowed to develop into a new plant, then that is what we call it as a protoplast culture. Protoplast culture is somewhat different from that of the normal plant tissue culture, right? So in normal plant tissue culture, we directly utilize the plant parts as such. Whereas here in protoplast culture, before inoculation of the explant, certain processes will be carried out, right? So in meristematic culture or in other organ culture, if you culture the plant tissue, the product what we obtain is exactly similar to that of the explant what we have cultured. Whereas in protoplast culture, we can able to modify, we can be able to bring out the variations, right? So we can bring out the genetic recombinations, right, by combining the different protoplasts. That is what the speciality of this culturing, right? Let us enter into the concept. So now we know that what is meant by protoplast. Protoplast refers to the living content of the cell, and it is nothing but the cytoplasm combined with nucleus surrounded by cell membrane, right? So these are the steps, right? So there are 5 different major steps involved in protoplast culture. The first step is isolation of protoplast, fusion of protoplast, culturing the protoplast, induction of callus, embryogenesis, organogenesis, and finally hardening. Then it goes on, right? So these are the basic 5 steps. Let us discuss one by one. First is isolation of protoplast. The protoplast has to be isolated from the cell, right? So this is carried out, right? So all these techniques are carried out inside the laboratory, right? That we will be aware of that, right? So first is isolation of protoplast. The protoplast from the cell has to be removed. That is, the cell wall has to be removed and the remaining content has to be prepared, right? So that step is the first step in the protoplast culture, isolation of protoplast. So the protoplast can be isolated from any part of the plant part, right? So from the roots or stem part or a leaf, anything can be utilized. In general, they will utilize the leaf because it is very much convenient to handle the leaf tissues, right? So here the leaf tissues, the leaf are a leaf part is taken and the leaf is cut into small pieces, or else the entire leaf can be dipped in a medium, enzymatic medium or enzymatic mixture, which is composed of 0.5 percentage of maserozyme, 2 percentage of Onozuka cellulase enzyme, and 13 percentage of sorbitol solution, right? So these are the 3 different chemicals mixtures in which the tissue, the leaf tissue is immersed, right? So once the leaf tissue is immersed into this chemical medium containing all these different enzymes, what will happen? Because these chemical composition contains the cellulase enzyme, and that cellulase enzyme will destroy the cell wall layer of the plant cell, right? As a result, the plant cell wall is disintegrated and the remaining protoplasm will get isolated, right? Will get removed, right? After that, after it will be kept overnight. So after 24 hours, it will be removed by the process of centrifugation, and finally, the sediment portion, what we get is the pure protoplast, right? Without the cell wall content. So this is the first step, what is called as isolation of protoplast. So once the protoplast is isolated, so now we got the protoplast, and the protoplast is the living nature. So to maintain its viability, right, to maintain the living status, usually during each step of the isolation, they will add some carbohydrate source to maintain the living nature of the protoplast. So usually they will add sucrose solution, that is 20% of sucrose solution is added to the content to maintain the lively nature of the protoplast, because the protoplast has to be supplied with some sort of nutrients to maintain its live nature, right? So for that we will add the sucrose solution. So that is how the isolation is carried out, right? So once the protoplasm is isolated, now what they will do in the second process, for example, right? So this protoplast, for example, can imagine we have isolated a protoplast of a plant named as A, right? So A plant is isolated, right? Protoplasm of A plant is isolated. Likewise, similarly, protoplasm of B plant, there is another plant but same different species, right? B plant is also isolated, right? Imagine A plant produces large sized fruits but tasteless fruits, whereas the B plant produces a small sized fruit but highly tasted fruit, right? Now these two protoplasts are isolated and both the protoplasts are allowed to fuse, right? So that is the second step, what is called as fusion of protoplast. In this step, fusion of protoplast, the two protoplasts of two different species, right, are made or brought together and they are forced to fuse, or they are allowed to fuse, right? So once they both fuse together, right, usually fusion of the protoplast is carried out by means of certain chemicals, and these chemicals will induce the fusion of the protoplast, right? One most common widely used fusogenic agent, we call it as a fusogenic agent. Fusogenic agents are nothing but the chemicals that induces the fusion of protoplast. One such fusogen is polyethylene glycol, right? So we usually call it as PEG. Polyethylene glycol is the widely used fusogenic agent which is used to combine the protoplasm of two different species, right? So with the help of that fusogen, two different protoplasts, now we are combining the protoplast of A plant having large sized fruit but tasteless fruits, and another protoplast of B plant having small sized fruit but highly tasted fruits. Now the protoplast will combine, right? While the combination of protoplast, while the protoplast is getting fused, first the cytoplasm get fused, right, and become a single protoplast having two nuclei, and later on both the nuclei will get fused to form a single nuclei, right? So now the protoplast gets completely fused, and what the product we got is a hybrid protoplast. So now the hybrid protoplast has the combination of both A as well as B genes, right? So the genes of both the plant species A and B will be combined in the hybrid protoplast, right? Now this protoplast, which is the living part, so each and every step, the longevity and the lively nature of the protoplast is maintained by supplying with the carbohydrate source, right? So once this fusion is over, now this protoplast is allowed to regenerate its cell wall by once again keeping it in the medium, right? So the necessity chemicals, what are the necessary chemicals, cellulose components and hemicellulose components, what are the necessary chemical substances that are essential for restructuring the cell wall of the protoplast is supplied in the medium, and the protoplast now starts to regenerate its cell wall and becomes a normal cell, right, in the medium. Once the cell is formed, right, then the cell is now transferred to another medium, nutrient medium, the normal MS medium or whatever the medium, the nutrition medium, it is transferred, and inside the medium or on the medium, the cell will begin to grow and multiply, right? As a result of that, the callus is formed. right? That is the fourth step, induction of callus, right? So the callus is formed. Once the callus is formed, this callus begins to grow and forms a mass of undifferentiated and unorganized cells, right? So these undifferentiated callus are allowed to or induced to form the embryo by supplied with cytokinin and cytokinin, auxin, and gibberellin hormones. As a result, the embryos will be formed. Then from the embryos, organogenesis will occur. The root and the shoot begins to develop, and finally the new plantlet will be formed. But what is the difference? The new plantlet which is formed by this technique will have the characters of both A plant as well as B plant. Now the plant which is formed may behave like the character, may have the characters of both A as well as B plant, right? The fruits may have either may be larger in size and moreover they may be good in taste, right? So that is how both the characters, right? So incompatible species which cannot be combined by nature, with the help of the protoplast culture we can able to make them together and bring it in a single plant, right? That is the speciality of the protoplast culture. And once the plantlets are formed, the plantlets are then transferred to the field condition in a gradual manner by means of hardening, and the plant which is now formed will have the characters of two different species brought together in a single plant. And this is the new hybrid plants, right, are developed by the protoplast culture. A new variety, a recombinant variety is formed by the protoplast culture. Protoplast culture is quite different from that of other type of plant tissue culture, right? And this is what the protoplasm culture deals with, and this is the overall cycle, right? So overall steps involved in the protoplast culture has been depicted in this image, right? So in today's class we have discussed in detail about the protoplast culture. In next class we shall continue the remaining part. Thank you.